Yes, welcome back everybody here to the Now Morning Show. And now we're going to be speaking about some life-saving equipment that you could have in your home and have at any time that you could potentially save a life. Joining me this morning is Risha Ferdinand, who's the Marketing and Communications Manager of About Safety Gadgets. And we are looking at a new product that is being introduced into Trinidad and Tobago that can possibly save a life. Good morning, Risha.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being with us this morning. So I have a lot of questions because I was reading up on it, and it seems very, it seems like something very, very necessary, because at any point in time, something can occur in a workplace, at home, in a school, where somebody requires CPR, and that CPR could potentially save their lives. And, you know, there are so many concerns when it comes to that with some people. You know, some people don't want to put their mouth on the other person to help resuscitate them. Some people just freeze, and they you know, and they don't know how to help. So tell us about the CPR Wrap.
Okay, great. Well, the CPR Wrap, as you rightfully mentioned, it is a life-saving device. So should someone walk into a room and find an unresponsive person, they can actually use this device, place it on that person, and actually resuscitate them confidently. Whether you are CPR trained or you are not CPR trained, you can use this, because there are many people when, even though they are trained, they get into a situation, shock grips them, and they forget everything. By simply having this little package, and this is what it looks like, a little package in your possession at that point in time, you can easily grab it and follow the instructions clearly written on it to resuscitate that unresponsive person.
That thing is so tiny. All right, so I need to understand the physics behind it, how it works and all, because you pull out this little package, but that little package can save a life. Like, tell us exactly how. Tell us how you use it. Walk us through the process.
Perfect. So it is kept in this package. Obviously, it's neat and it's small, so that way you can carry it wherever you go.
Right.
However, once you open the package, there you will find the CPR wrap inside of it, tightly tucked away. On that CPR wrap now, you can place this part of it on the person's chest.
Right.
Clearly, on the diagram, there you will find instructions as to where to place your hands, the number of times you are to put compressions on that person. Then there is also where you place the mouthpiece. So should you have to blow into that person's mouth, you can therefore now blow in confidently without fear of being, contracting of any virus or any bodily fluids being exchanged at that point.
Yeah, and, that is something that, even when I did CPR training, how much years ago, that was something, a common question, like, you have to put your mouth on somebody else, and is a stranger, you don't know if you could get some type of bacteria or virus or whatever the case may be from them. So I guess this alleviates that. So why did you see it necessary to introduce this product to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, firstly, because of the pandemic. And there are many people who will end up in a situation with whether it's an elderly or even a little one in your care. For example, there are parents who are now homeschooling at this point in time. Generally, your children would be in the care of a teacher or someone else. So by you now being at home with your children, you yourself is now equipped and empowered to be able to save a life, and even if it's an elderly in your possession. And guess what? It also comes in different sizes. We have for infants, we have for children, and for adults. So anyone can use this on any other person.
All right, let's start to break it down a little bit. Now, we know with CPR, one of the steps in CPR, it's the chest compressions. Now, you said there are different sizes for children, for adults, for adolescents, but there's a certain amount of pressure that is needed, to perform CPR safely, especially when it comes to children. When you're doing these compressions, it is possible to break bones and these things.
That's right.
How would somebody who is not formally CPR trained understand how much pressure to apply in any given situation?
Very good question. And the wrap states the number of compressions you place on that individual.
That's number, but what about the pressure?
Right. So in terms of the pressure, it says to you gently in this instance here, as well as it shows you where your finger point has to go on that person's chest. So all of the markings and all of the guidelines that you need is clearly stated on the CPR Wrap.
So Okay, so you're seeing this video clip here, and the person doing compressions.
Yes.
All right, and so that's a good demonstration. But again, it doesn't answer my question. Like, say for instance, a big strong man, you know,
Right.
is, you know, he's the one that happens to be in the situation where he has to do
Yes.
CPR on an infant, for instance.
Right.
How does he understand? Because gentle, it's an adjective, and it gives a
Right.
little description, but it doesn't, in my opinion, give an exact number or an exact like
Right.
degree of pressure you should apply. So how can we understand that if you're not CPR trained formally?
Very good. For the infants in particular, it tells you with using your 2 fingers to place on that infant. And it's on the infant's package, it tells you how deep you go for
Okay.
that infant.
All right.
So
All right.
based upon the age group, the description on the CPR wrap will tell you how much and how deep you go for that person.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, that gives me a little more description and
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
As well. So I feel a little more comfortable about
That's
it
quite
now.
okay.
Right?
That's
So
quite okay.
who can use the CPR wrap? Who is it? Is it mainly for adults? Do you think children would have the aptitude to use it? Who?
Right. Children will have the aptitude to use it once you show them that they can use it. Once a child can read, and you can basically get one as a parent or as an adult and show them the instructions on it, a child will be confident enough to use it. But it all depends on, you know, your child, and
Right.
that each child develops differently, right?
Right.
So it depends on how your child is able to grasp that information, and therefore you are empowering them as opposed to placing fear on them.
Right.
Because once you empower someone, they will then now be able to act differently. They will act with more confidence should a situation arise.
Very true. Very true. And you know, people, if they are confident in a situation, they are more likely to do the right
Yes.
things rather than if they're panicking, right?
Exactly.
All right. So let's
Yes.
speak about cost now. What's the cost of one of these life-saving kits?
Okay, great. Very good question. So our prices range from $90, which is for the infants, then $95 for the children, and $100 for the adults. We also have wholesale, whereby we're catering for also large groups of people. If you have 12 and over quantities of that amount, there are also discounted prices there.
All right. That's a good thing to consider. Now, is it reusable? Because again, I don't want to use something once, and let's say the minimum is $90, and then
Yes.
you know, have to discard that, and then have to go spend another $90 or $100.
Right.
You know, is it reusable?
Great. So reuse is all based upon your discretion as an individual. Now, I can reuse this on my children. I can reuse this on my spouse. But would I reuse it after I've used it on a stranger?
Right.
That is based upon your discretion as an individual. Now, to take care of it, you can easily, it's plastic, but it's a different type of material,
Okay.
of plastic.
All
So
right.
it's easily, and you can take care of it accordingly. But in terms of the mouthpiece, that is based upon your discretion as an individual.
Well, a little sanitizer, you know, and and you know, wrap it up to go again. Hopefully, you don't have too many of the instances where you need to use it.
Exactly.
You know, but you know,
Exactly.
it's better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it.
That's correct.
So, how can people get into contact with you? How can they get their hands on one of these CPR wraps?
Great. So presently we have a couple of social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, as well as people have been contacting us because we have been running a number of ads raising awareness about the product. And we have our company number, which is 471-5187, or even myself, my direct line, which is 734-6775. We are on social media as About You Safety Gadgets.
Wonderful. About Safety Gadgets, and that's on Facebook. Is it on Instagram?
That's correct, both on Facebook and Instagram as About You Safety Gadgets.
What about TikTok? You know, that's the hip thing these days.
I know, we created a TikTok account recently, but it didn't go too well.
I didn't even bother to create a TikTok account myself, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. But with that, I want to congratulate you on this, and you know, again, having an option in which we can help each other, help one another in a difficult situation, and one that anybody can use and anybody can utilize for the purpose of saving a life, or at least sustaining life until the emergency services make their way. That is something that I think is really an asset.
Yes, It is. It definitely is. And I would just like to tell everyone who's watching, help us save one life by saving it at a breath at a time. It is so important. One breath at a time, and we can save a life.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Saving a life one breath at a time. Could you repeat that phone number for us one more time?
So it's 471-5187 or 734-6775.
Wonderful. That's a great way to end this one. I want to thank you so much, Risa Ferdinand, for joining us this morning. Again, I look forward to all the great things to come from this and the ability to save lives. Again, you could reach out and get your hands on a CPR Wrap from About Safety Gadgets. All right, with that, we're going to take a short break, and we have so much more in the program. Stay right where you are, or go grab that coffee or tea real quick, but come right back here. Best place to be on a Wednesday morning.